We'd like to thank our radio listeners this morning on WOMI Owensboro. That's 99.1 FM and 1490 AM. And it is time to welcome our brand new chamber members to kick off this new year. So let's get started with Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation. Their customer service is a way of life dedicated to finding great rates and loan options for their customers while offering some of the fastest turn times in the industry. Their goal is to act as a trusted advisor, providing highly personalized service and helping you through every single step of the loan process. Since opening their doors more than 20 years ago, their team has helped thousands of Americans achieve their dream of home ownership. So please welcome Leslie Pearson, Sherry White, Don King from Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation. Grace Health Beauty is a yoga studio and nutrition resource located in Commonwealth Court. Certified yoga instructor Shelly Vincent has a true passion for helping others establish and maintain a healthy lifestyle. Grace Health Beauty offers nutritional consultations and classes, and they have yoga classes for beginners to advanced, as well as chair and kids yoga. And their goal is to inspire everyone to prioritize their health and well-being and to love and care for themselves. So please welcome Shelly Vincent from Grace Health Beauty. I thought for sure you'd be in a yoga pose. Kentucky Thoroughbreds are a professional basketball team playing in the North American Premier Basketball League. They offer top-level, high-energy basketball in a family-friendly environment right here in Owensboro. Thoroughbreds opened their home season at the Sports Center on Friday, January 12th. By the way, they opened their season last night and won. Applause for that. Season tickets, individual game tickets are available at owensborotickets.com. Please welcome Steve Baker with the Kentucky Thoroughbreds. Ryan Vincent is a native of Muhlenberg County, graduated from Western Kentucky University in 2008. He's a proud husband to his wife, Jane Ann, and father to his daughter, Kate. Ryan has worked with State Farm for 4 years, and in 2017, he and his family relocated to Owensboro to pursue his dream of opening his own agency. He and his team are looking forward to providing insurance, financial services, and superior customer service to the greater Owensboro area. So please welcome Ryan Vincent with State Farm Insurance. Verizon, one of the largest communication technology companies in the world. Every day, they connect millions of people, companies, and communities with their powerful technology. They're using their award-winning network to make breakthroughs in interactive entertainment, digital media, the Internet of Things, and broadband services for customers. Whatever the future looks like, whatever the digital world promises, they will deliver. Please welcome John Spinks and Lindsay Scott from Verizon. We'd like to recognize our special guests with us this morning, elected officials. We have with us Kentucky State Senator Joe Bowen, Kentucky State Rep Suzanne Miles, Kentucky State Representative Matt Caslin, Kentucky State Representative DJ Johnson, Mayor Tom Watson, of course, Mayor Pro Tem Bob Glenn is with us today, City Commissioner Pam Smith-Wright, City Commissioner Larry Conder, City Commissioner Jay Villada, Judge Executive Al Mattingly. We have County Commissioner Charlie Caslin, County Commissioner Mike Koger, County Commissioner George Wathen. Sheriff Keith Kane is here, Judge Jeff S. Taylor, County Attorney Claude Porter, Daviess County PVA Rachel Foster. January, by the way, is National School Board Month. We'd like to recognize our school board members. From Owensboro Public Schools, Dan Griffith, Melissa Decker, John Blaney, Jeremy Edge, and Nancy Eskridge. From Daviess County Public Schools, we'd like to welcome Frank Riney, Todd Anderson, Tom Payne, Mike Clark, and Dale Stewart. So if all those folks want to stand, we'll give you a big old round of applause. Thank you for being with us today. Missed one, Circuit Court Clerk Susan Tierney. Thank you. It is time to recognize our Ambassador of the Month. In fact, we'd like all of our ambassadors to stand, please, so we can give you a hearty round of applause to kick off the new year. These folks out representing the chamber each and every day. And our ambassador of the month for January is Shane Cox from Shane Cox Insurance. Yeah, he's disqualified, clearly. Thank you, Shane. The first runner-up will now accept a $50 gift card to the Miller House. We'll give that to Shane, so a round of applause for Shane and all of his work. Here. All right, it is time for our chamber update, and to present that, of course, each and every month, our president and CEO, Candace Brake. Oh, that's first, okay.
Sorry.
Change of plans. Shane Cox not being here really threw a wrench in the plan. Pass that along to him, please. We have some exciting news to share this morning. In fact, utilizing funds from their Owensboro Daviess County Community Endowment Fund, the Green River Area Community Foundation conducted a grant application process that resulted in 20 local nonprofits submitting applications for capacity building projects totaling $147,632 in requests, which is astounding. $20,000 available this year for grants, and the top 3 applicants were awarded funds, and those folks are here today, and we're going to announce them. So we'd like to congratulate and recognize representatives from Hospice of Western Kentucky. Stand wherever you are. There they are. They received $8,609 for their palliative care program to execute an educational plan that includes the certification of their healthcare professionals in palliative care, along with a marketing strategy for that new care program. So congratulations. Thank you all so much. We have representatives from Girls Incorporated of Owensboro Daviess County with us today. There's Tiff right there. They received $6,603 for donor management software to efficiently utilize staff time while building a strong, sustainable fund development program. So congratulations. And finally, St. Joseph Peace Mission. I was beginning to worry y'all were with Shane Cox somewhere. $4,788 for a cloud-based fundraising and donor relationship management software, which also includes training to learn how to integrate and use the software effectively. So congratulations. By the way, the Community Foundation was established in 1993 by community leaders in this room and others who have gone on. They foresaw the foundation as a vehicle to support local philanthropy and to expand nonprofit initiatives. As the foundation enters the 25th year, the endowments are nearing a combined total of $15 million, which deserves a round of applause. Over the 25 years, charitable organizations have received over $10 million in grants from Community Foundation funds. Now, if any current or board members or former board members and staff are present, we'd like you all to stand this morning so we can recognize you for your efforts. Spread about the room. Thank you so much for serving the community, obviously, and assisting generous donors to meet their philanthropic goals. And if you would like to learn more about the Green River Area Community Foundation, you can contact Amy Silvert through the Chamber office. Now at this time, with our Chamber update, Candace Brake.
Good morning, everybody. We'll do a very brief chamber update today since we have such a packed program. Just a couple of really important things to remember upcoming is we have the 2018 Business of the Year program that's going to be part of our annual celebration. If you've been nominated, and we had many, many nominations this year, we would appreciate you getting those in by Thursday, January the 11th, so that we can move forward with the selection of that. And with that, those people will be honored, the winners will be honored on January the 26th, and that'll be a few Fridays from now. It's our biggest celebration of the year. We had over 600 in attendance last year. It's a great night to get out and just have a good time once the New Year's is upon us, and to celebrate each other in our community. We have a lot of sponsors that make that event possible, make us able to really make it an over-the-top night, and I'd like to recognize those sponsors now. Yeah. Thank you, Tom. Mayor. The presenting sponsor this year is Owensboro Health. We want to recognize them for always being such a great partner for all of our events. And then we have platinum sponsors. And if you're here, you can stand: Independence Bank, Kentucky Legend, UniFirst Corporation, and U.S. Bank. The Chamber Award sponsors are Atmos Energy, the City of Owensboro, the Fiscal Court, Kentucky Innovation Network, and Swedish Match. The gold sponsors are Assured Partners, Axiom Architecture, Boardwalk Pipeline Partners, Danco Construction, Don Moore Automotive, EM Ford and Company, First Security Bank, Glenn Funeral Home and Crematory Incorporated, Hart's Contracting LLC, Hollison LLC, Kimberly Clark Corp., The Messenger Inquirer, Metalsa, Old National Bank, Owensboro Community and Technical College, On Time Fab Incorporated, Owensboro Riverport Authority, O.Z. Tyler Distillery, RBS Design Group Architecture, Republic Bank, Ronnie Hancock CPAs PSC, South Central Bank, and silver sponsors Atmos Energy, Big Rivers Electric, Kinergy Corp., Red Wing Shoes, Surf Pro of Davis County, Western Kentucky University, Owensboro. Bronze sponsors are Brushy University, Jack Wells Incorporated, Wellington Park, and our print sponsor, Greenwell Chisholm, and our decor sponsor, Welborn Events. Thank you all so much for investing in this event so we can get out and network and celebrate the great things going on in this community. And Kirkpatrick, thank you for being our MC this year. We can't wait to see what you've come up with. Oh, you didn't know that? January ribbon cuttings on January 10th. We have Legend Sports Bar and Grill, Virginia. We hope you can make it with your gift certificate. January 12th, we have the Kentucky Thoroughbreds, and January 19th, Blush Boutique. Western Kentucky Thank You Night is Thursday, February the 8th, and that is when all the chambers in Western Kentucky get together, and we have an evening in Frankfort to thank all the legislators. We have the governor coming and leadership from the House and the Senate. It'll be a very good evening. We really would like to have a lot of people from Owensboro be there to show that we're around, that we're there to be heard, and that we're watching and thankful for all the service that our legislators do for our community. We'll be giving you more information, and we just hope you put it on your calendar and come. It's a good night. Save the date for Farm City Breakfast, February the 24th at Davis County High School. More information will be forthcoming on that. And the Athena Award nominations deadline is Thursday, January the 18th. This is an opportunity to recognize people in the community who have done much to promote women in the community, women and girls. It's not exclusive to women award winners. So if you know someone in the community that you think has done so much to promote women and girls in the community, nominate them. You have nomination forms at your table. We'd ask you to think about it and send it back. Girls Incorporated, Tish is here today. If you see her and you've got a nomination, catch her before she leaves. The luncheon is March the 8th. The network has several things going on this month. Check our website for that and our weekly emails. And they're having a networking workshop for February the 7th. Okay, you all have the new magazines at your place today, and I'd like for you to look at those. This is our annual magazine that goes in all the hotel rooms around the community, and all the members will get it in the upcoming membership thank you. We want to thank the Messenger Inquirer for doing such an amazing job with this year. They have really turned out a first-class publication. If there is anyone here from the Messenger, would you please stand? Mike Weaver, are you here? Oh, there we go. The team from the Messenger. Thank you all so much. And Mike, welcome as the new publisher. We really look forward to working with you. Who's used Lyft so far? All right, that's good. Okay, we need more drivers. And the CYP has had driver training. We now have a certified person here in the community to certify vehicles for Lyft drivers. So if you're interested in learning how to become a Lyft driver, contact our office and we'll get you connected with the process of getting through that. It's been a great thing for the community so far. We're hearing lots of good things from visitors and also from people in the community, just like people especially that came back for Christmas break that were so happy to see that we were moving forward in our community. At your place, you have the Chamber Matters that has our membership renewals. We ask that you look through that list because those are people who have invested in the community. We believe that Chamber membership says that you believe in Owensboro and that you are actually an investor in the future of Owensboro. So we ask for you to look through that list and do business with those people. And John Conte, the people from John Conte, thank you all for keeping us awake and wired and warm today. Thank you all.
There it is. Well, we always love the first Rooster Booster of the year because we get to look ahead to the year that's headed our way, but it's always a little bittersweet too because it always brings to an end an era. And today, the Wade Jenkins dynasty here at the Chamber is coming to a close because this is his final Rooster Booster as board chair. So please welcome for his swan song, Wade Jenkins.
Era or error, I don't know. I do. This is my last Rooster Booster, and I do want to say thank you. It has been a very quick year, as you might imagine or not imagine. It's been amazing, and I really appreciate the opportunity to do this. I'm a better community member because of it, and I would encourage everyone that hasn't been involved at the board level to think about that opportunity. I do want to thank a few people very quickly. I want to thank the Chamber staff, Candy Brake, Jacqueline Graves, Jessica Kirk, Susan High, and Lauren Nunez Wood. I guess because of them, they made me look a lot better than what I really am. So thank you for all your hard work. This is the most efficient Chamber staff you can ever imagine. They get more work done with 5 people than you really know. They are constantly working. On weekends, at night, I get emails and texts and, hey, what do you think about this? What do we do about this? And they truly love this community. So that's part of what makes Owensboro great. It's just how much, we've got the best morning chamber breakfast in the state of Kentucky with Rooster Booster and in the world. I'm sorry, I missed that. But it really is unbelievable. Every speaker that's up here on a regular basis says, I'm surprised. I thought I would speak in front of 50 people at 7:30 in the morning, and there's always 200 to 400 people here. So thank you very much. I also want to thank the Chamber Board. If you're part of the staff or the board, do you mind to stand for just one moment? Please.
They're all time
Please. They don't want to stand, but it's a great group. It's a great, it's a great group of people, and I appreciate being able to work with them. With that said, I want to talk about our community priorities. Before each budget session of the General Assembly, the Chamber of Commerce, the Economic Development Corporation, Daviess County Fiscal Court, and the City of Owensboro join together to develop a concise list of priorities for our community. Why do we do this? Because it's important for our elected leaders, our economic development officials, and our business community to speak with one voice on our joint priorities as Frankfurt. Joint priorities. We're on the same team, and when our team is on the same page, we always get more accomplished. Why do we do this in a year where resources are scarce? Because we understand the value of keeping an eye on our goals, and even those goals that are not immediately attainable. How do we do this? Through the Chamber surveys, public forums, and the City Commission meetings, and the Fiscal Court meetings, requests for feedback online and in local print. Numerous discussions with partnering boards and committees. The transportation priorities are maintaining funding for a 6-year road plan. By the way, Highway 54 is included. Maintain the natural upgrade for our 65 spur. Complete I-69 and upgrade the Audubon Parkway to I-69 spur. Widen Kentucky Highway 331 serving the Riverport industry. And the capital priorities are second family court judge, a new judicial center, and light the Blue Bridge. I wish that would have happened while I was in office, but Bart will probably get credit for that. Way to go, Bart. This year, our partners have also decided it is of extreme importance to add a legislative policy priority. We have added home rule and flexibility in local government tax structure. I'm sure the mayor and the judge will both discuss the important topic in their comments today. The community priority cards are on your tables and are there for you to take. More are available at the door. And before we wrap this up, it's important for us to remember the success we had last session was due to the dedication and efforts of our state delegation of Senator Bowen, Representative Miles, Johnson, Castlin, Gooch, and Mills. And now I'm supposed to pause for 10 seconds before I introduce the guest. It says that right here on my paper. So mingle for 10 seconds, and then we'll go back. We'll pull back together. 3, 2, 1. And now I have the privilege of introducing Congressman Brett Guthrie, who would like to thank for joining us today. Congressman Brett Guthrie represents Kentucky's 2nd Congressional District in the U.S. House of Representatives. Congressman Guthrie serves on both the House Energy and Commerce Committee and the House Committee on Education and the Workforce for the 115th Congress. Guthrie also serves on several subcommittees and chairs the Education and Workforce Committees, Higher Education, Workforce Development Subcommittee. He was also appointed to serve as an assistant whip within the Republican Conference and a regional representative to the Republican Policy Committee. Guthrie graduated in 1987 from the U.S. Military Academy at West Point with a degree in economics and went on to serve as field artillery officer in the 101st Airborne Division Air Assault on Fort Campbell. Guthrie later earned a master's degree from Yale University in public and private management. Congressman Guthrie comes from a small business manufacturing background. Following his military service, he joined Trace Diecast in Bowling Green, a business that was started by his father. He is married to the former Beth Clemens. They have 3 children, Caroline, Robbie, and Elizabeth. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Appreciate it very much. Actually, our vote schedules got changed around, so I happened to be in Kentucky today and happened to be able to be here. So they said, would you like to say a few words? And I know you got 2 speakers who have a lot to say and who can say a lot. And I know that's the purpose of you being here today. So I just want to say thanks for allowing me to be here today. We go back Monday. We have a lot of things still to do. I think we had a pretty successful first year, but our second year of this term is coming up. And the big thing we have left over, the House has passed all of its spending bills, but as you know from civics, it also has to pass the Senate. So we're still waiting on the Senate. So on January the 19th is the day we're supposed to be finished, hopefully, and have all the spending bills for the year done. So that's the thing, if you want to, what's going to be happening when we get back immediately. A couple other things are on the agenda. And hopefully there'll be a better forum at a different time when I can explain that. But it's just always great to be here. I'll just have to tell you, when I was home between Christmas and New Year's, I was flipping through, hopefully some of you guys saw this, flipping through the TV. I don't get a chance to do that much, but I was, and there's a program called Fire and Food or something like that, and they were doing the St. Mary Magdalene's 100th picnic, and I got really, really hungry for mutton, so I cannot wait for the picnic season to get forward. But thanks for letting me serve you. Thanks for letting me be here, and I know you have 2 distinguished gentlemen that are going to give you a lot of good information, so thanks for giving me just a couple of minutes, and hopefully see some of you in Washington. I know are coming up with Farm Bureau and other groups, but we will see you hopefully in a better forum. We can sit down and talk about what is happening in Washington and allow to explain why I have the positions I have and the things that we're doing and trying to get done to make America better. So thank you so much for allowing me to be here. Thanks.
Judge Executive Al Mattingly. Al Mattingly is the Daviess County Judge Executive and was sworn into office January 3rd, 2011. Judge Mattingly, born to Alfred and Connie Marie Mattingly on May 23rd, 1947, is the eldest of 12 siblings. He graduated from Owensboro Catholic High School in 1965 and in 1969 received his bachelor's degree in biology from Brescia College. Judge Mattingly served in the United States Army from 1969 until 1972. In 1971, Judge Mattingly married Judy Wolfe, Judge Judy Wolfe, W-O-L-F-E. My mom was a Wolf, so we may be related. I'm not getting into that. And they have 1 son, Will, and an Owensboro attorney. Al and Judy have owned a small business in Owensboro for the last 46 years. In 2003 and in 2007, Judge Mattingly was elected and served as an Owensboro City Commissioner. In 2007, he served the Owensboro City Commission as Mayor Pro Tem. Since his election, Judge Executive Al Mattingly has not only reorganized and refocused county government, but also partnered in regional and statewide initiatives. In 2017, he received the Wendell H. Ford Regional Legislative Leadership Award from the Green River Development District for his work with legislative issues that benefits the citizens of the region. Please help me welcome Judge Al Mattingly.
He did have to emphasize eldest, didn't he? Let's see, which pair of glasses this morning? If I read this speech with this pair, it comes out differently than with this pair. I see Tom Mitchell back there grinning. Tom, you come up and read it through your glasses, it'll be entirely different. Well, good morning.
Good morning.
Rooster Booster, yeah. Happy New Year. This will be my 8th State of the County address. I can't believe those 8 years have gone by, or 7 years have gone by that quickly. And each year I've tried to talk about issues that affect our counties, our communities' quality of life, instead of things that you can read about in the newspaper, Messenger Inquirer, or on TV. This year, I want to review some of the issues that I've talked about in the past, but we'll get to those here in a few minutes. Oh, by the way, I received a text, and Tom, I think you received the same text from Suzanne. Don't say anything bad about the state legislators. Well, I'm going to talk about them, but it's not too bad. First, let me start by introducing my Daviess County Fiscal Court team. Commissioner George Wathen from the West, would you stand? Charlie Caslin from the Central District. I'm surprised Charlie made it this morning. He's the only person I know that gets colder than my wife. Commissioner Koger from the East. These folks are my eyes and ears out in their respective districts. Without their help, we couldn't do what we do on fiscal court. Will all my staff stand, please? Come on, staff, get up. Sheriff Kane, would you stand and ask your deputies to stand? And Fire Chief Smethers, would you please stand and ask your men to stand with you? You know, these folks sometimes get a bad rap, but I want to tell you, they're the ones I want to see when I get in trouble, and I think we all feel the same way. Our constitutional officers, Claude Porter. Claude, would you stand? Claude's job, I think, is to tell us no on when we want to do something. Oz Osborne, our county clerk, couldn't be here this morning. You know what Oz is doing? You've all heard about the issues that we've had with the state program at the clerk's office. Oz is over there handwriting automobile and truck titles, and he's actually printing out license plates for those vehicles. I told him if he didn't show up, I'd say that. Susan Tierney. Susan is always forgotten, our court clerk. Rachel Foster, where's our PVA at? Rachel, I know you're out there. Stand up. We want to get a look at you. Jeff Jones, our coroner. I don't think Jeff is here. Art Maglinger, our jailer. Newly appointed and newly minted, Art Maglinger. And you know, I don't know if he's here. David Osborne, our former jailer. Even though he's not, I want to really give a special thanks to David. When I took office, we were subsidizing the jail at over $2 million a year, and we have substantially reduced that cost. And it's all because of the really cooperative effort between fiscal court and Jailer Osborne that we were able to do it. These are all the folks that help make county government run just like an operating system on a computer. What does the operating system do? It runs in the background. You never see it, you never know it's there, but it has a job to do, and every time you punch a key, the key works. Any former court commissioners here? I know I saw Judge Executive Reed here. Reed, are you here? Any others? Reed, thank you for your past service. My wife of 46 wonderful years, Judge Judy, would you stand up? And my son, Will. Sit down. Oh, our son. Oh, I'm sorry, it's our son. Okay. There is a response to that, but I won't go into it. Wait, on my paper it says breathe, and go slow. Wow, what a year. I mean, we have had some year in the past. I remember starting my speech last year playing a song, Back in the Saddle Again, in honor of Mayor Watson. This year, I tried to find a song about saddle sores and saddle soap. I couldn't find any. So, Tom, I'll let you go. I'm happy to say, and Mayor, get ready, I'm happy to say the state of the county is good. We have money in the bank. We pay our bills on time. In reviewing past State of the County addresses, one will find a recurring theme in many of them. From 1999 through 2016, where Judge Executive Reed Hare and I have talked about topics such as community involvement, accountable leaders, economic development, workforce development, education, pensions, cooperation. Now, these topics keep coming up because they're so very important to our citizens and to our local governments as our community strives to become a better place to live, to work, and to raise a family. Last year, I talked about the county and how it functioned and how the various offices work together to provide a seamless day-to-day government operation. That's that operating system that runs in the background. How working together, we've been able to do all the things that we're constitutionally responsible for while staying within our budget for revenues, for expenditures. And we do that by using good business principles. Today, let's review a couple of the issues that I talked about in the past. Issues that can have a dramatic effect on our efforts to continue to move our community forward. And first, let me talk about an issue that is on our community priorities list, home rule. Now, Suzanne, and you can pass this a text back to her, the only bad thing I said was, the General Assembly continues to talk about local governments controlling their own destiny. And in my opinion, that's all it is. It's talk. They want us to have home rule when it's convenient for them, and they don't want us to have home rule when it's convenient for them. Who better knows what's needed locally than you? And who better responds to those needs than your local governments? Not recognizing that one size fits all has been responsible for more failures in government strategies, from the war on drugs to the war on poverty, than anything else that I can think of. I have continually called on the General Assembly, as I know the mayor has, to give more autonomy to local governments. Allow us to do what we do best, and that's to tune local governments to local needs. Now, autonomy comes on the revenue side as well as the spending side. On the revenue side, I hope that the General Assembly, in their effort at tax reform, will keep local government needs in mind, from how we receive revenues from taxes to leveling the playing field across the Commonwealth. I hope reform will give our citizens some input by law on major tax increases of all kinds. The spending side brings me back to a review of my 2013 address, and I quote, "The first issue that comes to mind is retirement." Now, you knew I was going to talk about that today. This is the elephant in the room. This is a topic that every elected official will tell you they wish to address, but they continue to kick the can down the road. Like an illness that's ignored too long, we wake one day and local government's budgets are fatally and morally wounded to the point that local government can no longer deliver to our citizens the services they need and want. I think there's no better example of the need for home rule than the pension system. Unlike the state, counties and cities have fully funded their actuarially required contribution. I kind of got messed up there because saying actuarially is really tough if you're trying to go fast. Yet today, the County Employment Retirement System, the CERS, has less than 60 cents available to cover each dollar's worth of liability, and it's getting worse. There are many reasons for the continued shortfall in projected cash needed to pay current and future retirees in the Kentucky retirement system, in the KRS, not the least of being the failure of the state government to adequately fund their ARC. This failure is a part, but it's not all the reasons for our pension problems. And it's not the reason that our pensions are considered one of the top 3 worst funded in the U.S. If full funding is the only reason that we're in trouble, why is it that CERS, local cities and counties who have always fully funded their ARC payment, has less than 60 cents for every dollar we need to pay current retirees? If the 2008 recession were at fault, why hasn't the pension fund recovered? Anyone that has a 401k will tell you their 401k has recovered. Mine has. Perhaps part of the reason is that we have more retirees than we have workers paying into the fund, thus requiring the liquidation of invested assets to be able to write current retiree checks. Now, any of you bankers, Wade, at least I hope you know this, if you have to liquidate assets at a recession low, then that means that you have no funds to invest to take advantage of the new stock market highs. The failure of the KRS board to use accurate data for investment return and payroll growth contributed to underfunding as well as many other factors, all out of the hands of local government. But I think that local governments are sophisticated to make their own choices. At least now we have to deal with it. And I do want to take a moment to thank Governor Bevan for trying to address the pension fund. I mean, it's been kicked down the road for so many years. I hope that we can come up with a solution. Next year's ARC for CERS will increase by almost 50%. That's going to take an additional $1.7 million from fiscal court's budget. Now, as a court, we can pass a continuation budget, doing the same things next year that we did this year, using the modest increases that we will receive in revenues. The $1.7 million extra retirement costs will have to come from our reserves. Now, because of past courts, because of our commissioner and our staff, we have reserves. We have a healthy reserve. But the 1.7 is not a one-time issue. The 1.7 million will be every year. And at some point, our reserves will drop down below what we are supposed to keep in reserves. When that happens, costs for bonds, costs for borrowing, all those things go up. And we can weather the one-time hit until the problem is resolved. But if we have to do it every year, we get in trouble. If it takes 30 years, think about that, Wade. 30 times 1.7 is $51 million. That was the answer you were coming up with. I could see your eyes rolling. $51 million taken from the citizens of our community. Think what we could do. Think what we could do with $51 million. And that's just from the county. The city will have even that much more taken. All the organizations that contribute to CERS will have money taken out of their budgets. The good news is we have the money to do it. The bad news is the money is in your pocket. Who laughed? But it is funny, right? The money is in your pocket, and that's where it's got to come from. Unlike many, I really don't care how we got here. I don't care who's at fault, but here we are. I have two goals. The first being that we resolve the issue, making sure that the promises that we made to our employees are kept, while keeping in mind that it is you and I paying the bills. Second, I want the issue resolved with some date certain, when local taxpayers can say, thank God that's over with, and let's move on to something else. That's why I have supported and will continue to support the separation of CERS from KRS with our own board. Now, I don't have a problem if the state wants to provide some oversight, but they need to allow cities and counties to do what we do best, and that is to solve our own problems locally. Yeah, go ahead and clap. In 2001, Judge Executive Reed Hare talked about court issues crucial to the future of our community. One of those issues was workforce development. As recent as 2016, and Congressman, I'm glad to hear that you're serving. I'm not bashing you, I'm just going to talk about workforce development. As recent as 2016, I talked to you about workforce and workforce development, and specifically the lack of employable people with sufficient education and the requisite skills necessary for a 21st century workplace. You think pensions are complicated? This is even a more complicated and multifaceted issue, and it seems as if everyone has an answer and no one is listening to the other side in order to present a coordinated effort. Kind of reminds me of what you've heard me talk about in the past, and those are the silos that each organization builds up, and don't you come into my silo, because I want what I want, and I want to do it in my way. With unemployment hovering near 4%, you would think that there are not people available to work. But in 2016, there were 56,000 people between the ages of 20 and 64 in our metro area. The labor force available was 45,000. What happened to the 11,000 people who are not in the labor force? We can explain some of those as stay-at-home moms. Some folks have disabilities. Some folks are incarcerated. But where are the rest? How do we account for them? And if you just took half of that 11,000, that's 5,000 people, and if you applied that to the 56,000 people who are available, or the 45,000 people who are working, instead of a 4% unemployment rate, we'd be near 10%. And we have programs to help folks get trained, get educated. Most come down from the federal government. The funding goes to the state, and from the state to local government. The programs all have strings attached, and most of the time are a one-size-fits-all. We have many really good folks from the private sector and from education who spend much time on the boards overseeing and trying to implement the programs. Many of the programs seem to have rules and regulations put in place just to frustrate these volunteers, to the point that they throw up their hands and quit. I've been working with workforce development since the early 90s, and we seem to be no further along today than we were then. Owensboro and Daviess County are different than northern Kentucky or eastern Kentucky. We have different needs. I believe that federal funds and state funds should be block granted down to the local level with a broad control structure, and allow local governments along with the private sector to do what we do best. And that's to fabricate a program that fits our own needs. I've often heard Mayor Watson talk about preparing folks not just for a job. Let's prepare them for a career. And I agree with the mayor wholeheartedly. Some wonderful programs are already in place, and we need to look at models such as GoFame, where folks work in the private sector and are mentored while attending school. Dual credit programs, courses taken in high school that count toward college education or college credit. And the Western Kentucky University Owensboro EDGE program, which works on economic development through guidance education. Government can't solve major problems, and while we shouldn't be in the business of picking winners and losers, we can nudge society in one direction or another by making funds available to those who need help. How can we nudge our people and our workforce? I don't know. But I do know that we'll not be successful if we don't work together, if we don't speak with one voice, and if we don't pool our resources. We can't afford to become frustrated and quit for the sake of our people and for the sake of our community. I know you're going to be happy to hear this next sentence, my last comment. My last comment's about economic development and the fund that Daviess County Fiscal Court established in 2011 to add a local incentive for companies looking to expand and locate in our community. That fund has seen some success, but I think that it's time to change direction. And while we will still compete for new business with state and local tax incentives, I believe we should restructure our economic development fund to place more emphasis on trying to incent more women and minority-owned businesses to start up, expand, or locate here. You know, we've had lots of folks in our community this past year talking about things like marijuana, statues on the lawn, backyard chickens. I can tell you, if we would put more emphasis on trying to raise the economic status of minorities and women, we could cure a lot of ills that go on in this community. And one of the best ways is to encourage entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship, at least I hope so, and I will be recommending that change to our fiscal court. Wouldn't it be cool if our community received another award, another accolade among all the things that we received over these past years, and be named and recognized as one of the top 10 places known as a community that values entrepreneurship in women and minorities? Wouldn't that be great? I want to thank you for attending today and listening to me. I'm going to close with a verse from the Christmas hymn, O Come, Emmanuel. The lyrics are a reflection of my desire for you, and especially my desire for folks who work in local government, folks who work in state government, folks who work in federal government, where perhaps we can come together, where we can pass or put aside partisan politics for a while and actually use knowledge to make good decisions for each and every one in our community. If I were the mayor, I'd sing it, but I can't. So, O come, thou wisdom from on high, and order all things far and nigh. To us the path of knowledge show, and cause us in her way to go. Thank you. Happy New Year.
I will. I could just say Mayor Tom Watson. That's all right. Former board chair. Please help me welcome Mayor Tom Watson.
Well, greetings from all the folks at City Hall, all the employees past and present, all our city employees that are here. Please stand, be recognized. We certainly appreciate all you do. As well as our elected officials and their spouses, because when you elect one, most of the time you're getting two, let me tell you. So please stand. Bob, Larry, Jay, and Pam, and their spouses. Jean, Holly, Rosemary, and then, of course, my boss, my Barbara. Please stand. Thank you very much for allowing me to play. And just in case I go down, we do have a replacement for me, I promise you. It's Watson. Huh? You'd be doing it backwards? Okay. Well, we've been really busy this year, I promise you. We've done a lot of meetings, a lot of places to go, and we try to do the best we can for our work. we got an opportunity to speak on home rule and other things to Joe Bowen's committee in Frankfurt. We went to D.C. and had an opportunity to sit with Secretary Chow and talk about a road from Huntingburg to the Maceo Bridge, and I got lost, and finally they threw me out of the West Wing. So, you know, they said, you're going to have to go sooner or later. So I can't, and I just really can't believe it's been a year since I stood here before you with the look of a hitchhiker on a highway in a hailstorm. Couldn't run, couldn't hide, couldn't make it stop. The only thing we could do was hunker down like Joe and Willie and go to work. Over the next 4 months and many meetings, none of which were very pleasant to say the least, it became apparent to me when one of our returning commissioners stated that they'd never seen the budget presented in the format that we were using. So I asked Bill Parrish, city manager, to present the budget for public viewing and input. Because, you know, why should we have all the fun? You know, most of us understand that we must live in the present, but always prepare for the future. And it's been said that the unelected faction of a community should not be trying to control the narrative. We were elected, and we should control the outcome. And we will be judged on the outcome, good, bad, or indifferent. But that doesn't mean we should be so arrogant as to ignore the input of our citizens and should strive to be as diverse and as inclusive as possible. I'll expand on that a little bit later. You know, last year I promised we'd kind of pump the brakes a little bit until we could get a handle of what had happened in the community and how they did it and where it was going. And while we would try mightily to continue steady progress in an orderly fashion, commensurate with the funding available while trying to maintain the excellent service your city government gives to you. And with your help and understanding, I believe we did just that. As I've stated many times before, I think all elected officials should strive for uphold four basic principles. Public safety. I'm going too fast, Leslie? Okay. They told me I didn't have much time, so I'm hurrying. Sustained economic growth. Owensboro was just named the 17th best place in the nation for manufacturing jobs. What about that, Scott Williams? Huh? Pretty good? I think it deserves one of them. Give him a hand. We would try controlled spending and work towards a balanced budget. So let's review what happened last year in OBKY. You know, when M&I doesn't deliver fake news, it was a blockbuster year. Look at it. Well, we immediately went to work to shore up our police and fire departments by adding police officers and firefighters, as well as increasing their pay. And the chief, I doubt will ever give you everything you need or you want, but we're trying to move in that direction, and I promise you, you'll stay on the front burner as long as I'm here. So I'd ask all police, fire, first responders, both city and county, just one more time, let's just tell them how much we appreciate all they do for us. You know, just keep in mind, when we're running away from trouble, and birds are running right in there after it. It just doesn't make any sense to me. We'll work on sustained economic growth as well. We're extremely fortunate to have some visionary private developers in our community. Most of you, if you've been paying any attention at all, know the names. Hayden, Wells, Bryant, Jago, Hurricane, just to name a few. All the successes these folks have had with the help of city and county government when able, and with state and federal governments, contribute to make us who we are, and also pave the way for future successes. And when you combine that with the invaluable existing businesses we have in Owensboro, they continue to make Owensboro better and better. Business expansion of corporate citizens has not gone unnoticed. Right down the street, we have a wonderful example of a 111-year-old business under the leadership of Helen Cornell, standing tall to help our wonderful ag community. Our friends at Metusala, Independence Bank, U.S. Bank, Castle & Steel, SF&G, Kentucky Legend, O.Z. Tyler, Swedish Match, and an entrepreneurial group, the Hollison Bunch. You know, and our new corporate citizen, anybody from Alorica here? I mean, they got all the employees now. We got a Alorica representative here. They're out recruiting, aren't they, Candace? Okay. Our corporate citizens contributed $185,000 for special events this year in donations and others to make us a destination city. Now, we have a new CEO at the Economic Development Corporation, Mark Snell. Is Mark here? Is Mark here? Is Mark here? Hey, Mark. I want y'all to recognize him. He's a hometown boy. Went to the big city. You might die, dude, wouldn't you? Might do. Made it big. He's decided to come home to share all his immense knowledge of the world. And I promise you, we're expecting big things out of the Economic Development Corporation. We also have a new president of the Convention Visitors Bureau, and Leslie actually put his name down there phonetically so I have to say it. Mark Calitri. Is Mark here? Huh? Do you right. You get up, Mark. Now, he's hit the ground running with a mindset that you got to sell our community. So, before you leave today, meet the Mark brothers and give them your card so that they can have a contact with you so we'll know when they need to call on you for their help. Our partnership with the folks at Spectra. Y'all heard of them? Is Blake here? Blake Henry and his workaholics are doing a great job of filling up this big place. And you know, I'll text Blake or call him with some screwball idea. All he does is say, I'm on it. Thank you, Blake. Appreciate you and your group. And quite honestly, I believe you could help a few more entertainment venues if given the chance to make sure that they stay open and have entertainment for this community. The partnership with Spectra reaches from here to the Sports Center, obviously, and we've got a recently renovated Sports Center. How many of you have been in the Sports Center and see how it's been renovated? Great. It's looking great. We got remodeled concession stands, video boards, a new floor, thanks to Kentucky Legend and Independence Bank helping. It's a very important place. It's where we celebrate our war memorials. And over the past year, we've received over $300,000 in Homeland Security grant money. Thank you to D.J. Johnson, State Rep, that will assist us in everyday community work. Now, we finally found something to partner with Daviess County Fiscal Court. I know that sounds kind of weird, but we finally did. It's called the Lindar Program. I swear to you, I couldn't explain it if my life depended on it. So see Mark or Kevin, all I know it's got something to do with a floodplain, right, Charlie? Isn't that it? Okay. But that's what we did, partner with them. And a special thanks to our friends at Atmos for their help with the memorials in front of the Sports Center. They needed a facelift badly. And our Gold Star couple, Kathy and Tommy Mullins, brought it to my attention. So I tried to see what we could do. I talked to Bill Parrish, and he says, we can make it happen some way. We'll take it from somebody else. And I said, he said, it's certainly not planned for in our budget. So Ms. Kay Coombs called, and thanks to her and a bunch of OBKY folks we have in Dallas for their generous contribution to make that happen. Please take time to stop by the War Memorial on the way into the Sports Center. Those folks paid the ultimate sacrifice so we could sit here in OBKY and be happy. We have a new owner at the GE building. Is Antonis there? He's probably making the deal. I call him 5, 10, 20 Antonis. You got to ask him about that. Our partnership with the Carpenters Union from across the river provided over 600 flags that were put at the Shelton Memorial to recognize the tragic N-22 project. I hope you had a chance to see that impressive display of patriotism. We now have a new basketball team, as Al has said, or someone has said, Kentucky Thoroughbreds of the North American Premier Basketball League. Please get out and support your hometown team. I went to see them practice at the Y the other day. Wes, they got some talent. They might be able to block your three. I'm not kidding you. They're going to be really good, and it's going to be playing at our recently renovated sports center, okay? You got that? All right. I think you'll be impressed. Now, we continue to maintain full employment, or really very low unemployment, which is good and bad, I think. So we will need to continue to do what we can do to create an atmosphere, and that is where I believe an atmosphere of a place where people want to be a part of our community, and that's where I believe you can't underestimate the value of an energetic and vibrant Chamber of Commerce. I'm so thankful that Nick and Caroline's mom, Miss Candace Brake, and her wonderful staff are there. She truly gets it, and if there ever was a job that someone was meant to do, it's this one. Candace, thank you for all you do and all your folks. Appreciate you. And I'm proud to announce that we had the honor and the pleasure to swear in our first female firefighter. How about that? And I think that's a big deal. Which I believe shows our commitment to creating opportunities for all. And not to be forgotten, two-time Ohio Valley Regional Emmy Award winners, our own multi-talented media specialist, Tanner West. What an accomplishment. And I dare say it's only the beginning. Right, Jason? I told you I was going to call you out, man. Where are you? Okay, never mind. All right. So now, there they are. Aren't they pretty? So now we move to 2018. I'll give you a peek into what lies ahead. We plan to add 6 new firefighters and continue to show progress on the triplet twist under the leadership of Miss Abby Shelton. But sadly, a large piece of that puzzle is, you know what? Ain't saying it. Still want to have a dialogue with Owensboro Health about turning all that space in. There you go. I'm going too fast again. I'm sorry. All that space in and around the old hospital location into a tax-generating piece of property by putting it on the tax rolls. Look at that hole right there in the middle of the community. It only seems logical if they can create those state-of-the-art wonderful health plexes in Henderson, Madisonville, and Muhlenberg County. They could at least entertain some dialogue to help Owensboro with the triplet twist development. I need to have a drink on this one. Breakfast of Champions. All right. So visualize with me, if you will, a new development, and only a few blocks from our magnificent downtown. We could actually use that parking garage there when we have big events on the river, and have the trolley make runs back and forth to bring people downtown to enjoy our 4-lane highway, which is the Ohio River, outstanding festivals and events, and eat at our restaurants. I think it'd be pretty cool myself. So anyway, I'm going to try again. Mr. Ed Ray stated that the activation of the tax increment financing districts should occur in 2018. Hayden Road, which is set to open this month, which means stores opening in Gateway Commons soon. They're working on setting a ribbon cutting date, with the first tenant to be open in February. A new downtown parking garage is going to be built where that big hole is across the street here. And a third hotel, which everyone has said we need to attract much larger conventions for economic development in our community. The opening of the Enclave on Veterans Boulevard, and the exciting development of the old Texas Gas property. Having said all that, I'm sure I've omitted a few things, but there's still a few clear and present dangers. As Al mentioned, the pension issue, and quite honestly, God bless Joe Bowen. He's put his heart and soul into trying to figure this thing out to move the needle just a little bit. And it's tough, and he's been sweating this thing. And we play golf quite often together, and it goes all the way back to last summer. And I'm hoping that there will be some calm solution for all the cities and the counties that have to pay that big part of the pension. You know, we have other critical issues around there. One is recruitment of high-level staff replacements that are retiring, or private sector, I call poaching some of our brightest young leaders. We have issues with OMU, power production, water service to both city and county water districts, and future issues on how we transition to multiple types of renewable energy. Our bond rating, even with all the hard work we did to try and stabilize our finances,